Hey guys, how are you all? So let's start the story without any questioning and others. Everyone stand there with the expression because what just happened is not a small thing. Mr. Min, what you thought now, Mr. Park? Okay, huh. Mr. Park. Jimin is still kid, Mr. Min. He is 16 years old only. Mr. Min, it's your decision. Hey with him, Mr. Park. Mr. Park, I know, Mr. Min, and when I said I am no, it just Jimin is a kid. I want he stay here. He is still so to handle all this. Mrs. Min, Mr. Park, how can he stay here now? Mrs. Park, I also think the same. Mrs. Win, this is my Jiminy and he is so soft. I want he'd stay here for some time. We need time to make him understand the things. Mr. Min, that's not problem, Mr. Park. Mrs. Park, we do. But now what we said to the what we said to the so I don't know from where the start, so I start the story from here. If Jimin stay here, and moreover, this is just because of your daughter, he said, and Mr. Park stay silent. Mr. Park, I know, but Jimin is still kid. Mr. Min, I am still on that thing. Mrs. Min, we take care of him. Mr. Park, you don't think too much. Mr. Park, you are not understanding. Mrs. Min, please, Mr. Min, please, Mr. Park. It's about our what we do, what we said to the. Now, Mr. Park is silent. He is thinking what he said to the Jimin. He don't even know the meaning of, and they do. He is just thinking they are playing a game with him. They do his. So Yoongi and his sister is going to as she go from the and they said they do Yoongi and Jimin, and it's about their Jimin is just 16 year old. He's still kid. Jimin. Okay. So I don't know what happened why my text is becoming short today. As I write the same I write before. Is thinking they play a game with him, and now he is talking with his friends, and Mr. Park don't know how he said Jimin to go with them, and what he said him, what reason he gave him. Mr. Park sign. Mr. Park, you are right on your place, Mr. Min. I am ready, but please take care of my Jiminy. I trust you, Yoongi. Yoongi, I will, uncle. Don't worry, he said. And Mr. Park looked at Mrs. Park and signed her to call Jimin. As Jimin come, he looked at everyone. He is looking so cute, and his chubby chicks. Mrs. Park, you want to go with your main auntie, huh? She asked, and Jimin looked at Mrs. Min, then sighed as no. Mrs. Park, we are going out of country for some days. Can you go with them, please? Jimin, I come with you, he said cutely, and Mrs. Park, Minnie, we do a lot of fun together. Let your mom, dad go, she said, and Jimin look at his parents, and his eyes turned. Mrs. Park, it's Mrs. Min. Sorry, Mrs. Park. It's just for some days. Jim and his mom. Jimin. Jimin. Come soon, Mr. Park. We will. He said and meet with Jimin. And Jimin meets with his parents. He don't know what is happening with him. And then he looked at Mrs. Min, who is saying him they do a lot of fun and many things. Jimin then go with them. He think his parents I stubble. He think his parents I stubble. He think his parents really go on some trip for some months. Mr. Park, what she did with us, I never make Jimin happy. Mr. Park, Jimin is good. Mrs. Park, everything become alright. She said, and they go home. They come and Jimin see the apartment. He always liked the apartment so much because of the decorations and the color combination. Mrs. Min smiled to see Jimin. Mrs. Min, Jimin, son, come sit here. She called him and she looked at Mrs. Min, then nodded and sit beside her. Yoongi go in his room and Mr. Min see him. Mrs. Min, so you want something? Jimin nodded. Jimin, water? Mrs. Min, wait, I give you, she said, and she go to bring the water. Mr. Min, if you want something else, tell me or tell Yoongi. Jimin Hyung, why? Mr. Min, because he listen you like I do, he said, and Jimin nodded. Jimin, okay. Mrs. Min come with the water and gave him. Jimin drink the water. The water and then look at her. Mrs. Min, come Jimin, I show you your room. You must be right. Jimin, yes. And why mom dad don't take me? She always take me. Then why not now? Mrs. Min look at Mr. Min. Mrs. Min, because they have some important work and you have to do packing and many things. They don't have much time. Jimin, huh? What I do with them? Mrs. Min, come, I show you your room. Mr. Min, send Yoongi. I want to talk with him, he said, and Mrs. Min nodded. She go in the room and then sent Yoongi. Yoongi come. He see his dad, Mr. Min. Come, sit, he said, and he sit in front of his dad. Yoongi, you call me dad? Mr. Min, yes. I want to talk with you about Jimin, he said, and Yoongi see him, then nodded. Mr. Min, listen, Yoongi, it's about your life. Jimin come in the room. He see the room. Jimin, auntie, this is Hyung room. Why we come here? Mrs. Min, actually, Jimin, the guest room key is somewhere. So you have to stay with your Hyung. Jimin, it's alright. Don't you have any other key? Mrs. Min, no, we don't have. Jimin, but how can I stay here? He said, and he always fell from Yoongi, as Yoongi don't talk too much. Mrs. Min, he don't said you anything, and if he do, Tell me, I am, she said, and Jimin nodded. Jimin, okay, but if you have any problem, Mrs. Min, no, he don't have. Now you take rest again. Call me if you want something. Otherwise, tell your young. Jimin just nodded, and she goes, Jimin and mine. How I stay here, huh? Oh no, why you go? Mom, dad, come fast. I want to come back. He think, and then Yoongi enter in the room. He see Jimin. Jimin see him, and he become he stand up. Yoongi just sit on the bed. Jimin didn't sit hmm, said anything, and she looking down. Yoongi see him. Yoongi Jimin. He call him softly, and Jimin look at him. Yoongi, come sit here. He said, and everyone sit on the edge of the bed. Yoongi, so you want to go out with me? Jimin, no. Yoongi, if you want, we can go tomorrow. Jimin, no, no. If I said you take me out now. Yoongi, it's your wish. Jimin nodded. Jimin, I want to go, but if you said, he said, and looking down as Yoongi can, Jimin, it's still not that much with him, and also, Yoongi, okay, so now it's too late, we will go tomorrow. Jimin nodded. Yoongi, okay then, you go and fresh up. Jimin, but my bags is still not here, he said, and Yoongi nodded. Yoongi, wait a minute. He gave him one pair of clothes. Jimin looked at him and then clothes. Yoongi, go. Jimin nodded and he go. Yoongi, huh? It will be so to handle you, Jimin, but I try my best to be a best for you. Hope so you for me soon, like I do, just in the blink of eye. Okay, so Yoongi from the first day, but as Jimin is a kid and his parents finalizes with her, so he stays silent. But now, what he get, what he want? Jimin come out. He is looking so cute. He's just looking like a marshmallow. His chubby cheeks is due to the in the room because it's winter. Yoongi see him. Yoongi see him. He really want to smile, but he don't. Yoongi, okay, so you sleep on the bed. Jimin, and you? Yoongi, I place the. Jimin, no, no, see what I do. He sat and on the bed, and he started to make the pillow, and then he looked at Yoongi with his big jaw innocent eyes. Jimin, see, he said while pointing toward the pillows. Yoongi, wow, why I don't have this idea. You are genius, Jimin, he said, and Jimin smiled. Jimin, thank you. Yoongi just nodded and he go for fresh up. So Jimin don't have mobile. He lay on his side and he don't know when he fell in sleep. He's also saw Yoongi come out and sing him. Yoongi, you are so beautiful and you don't know what you are doing, he said, and he see the pillows. He chuckled, he chuckled, and she lay on his side. He see him, and he fell in sleep. The night passed like this. Next day, Yoongi wake up. He see Jimin. It's still sleeping. He smiled to see him. Then he go for fresh up. He come out and then someone start to knocking the door. Yoongi see Jimin sleep is. He opened the door and signed his mom to stay silent. Yoongi, Jimin is sleeping, mom. Mrs. Min smiled to see him. Mrs. Min, I am here to call you both. Come out and do your breakfast, Yoongi. I am coming, but Jimin is sleeping, mom. So please now, don't knock the door. I don't want to wake up. Mrs. Min, okay, boss, she said, and Yoongi turned. He placed the pillow on the side so Jimin can easily sleep. Easily, and then he go out from the room. He don't want Jimin sleep. He come out, and he see his parents. Yoongi, good morning, mom, dad. Mr. Min, good morning, son. Where is Jimin? Yoongi, he is sleepy, dad. Let him sleep. Yesterday, he don't sit in the for 1 minute. Mrs. Min, yeah, and his eyes is on him. Yoongi, mom, he sit with his parents. Mrs. Min, breakfast. Yoongi, just coffee. Mrs. Min, oh, so you do breakfast with him. Yoongi, huh, mom. He sighed and she chuckled. Then he drank the coffee and talked with his parents for some time. He see the time now. It's almost 11 a.m. Yoongi, I check him. He wake up or not. Mrs. Min, if he don't wake him up, she said, and Yoongi signed she's him. Mrs. Min, you don't know how much I am happy to see my Yoongi. Mr. Min, after seeing him like this, I am also. And with that, Yoongi come in the room. He see Jimin, and he see Jimin sit on the bed, and he is rubbing his eyes cutely. Yoongi, you wake up. Jimin heard the voice. He looked at him. Jimin, yes, good morning. Yoongi, morning. Fresh up now. Jimin, my bags. Yoongi, point on the bags, and Jimin go. He sit on the ground and he open his bag. He start to decide his clothes, and then he finalized the pink outfit, which is so cute, and the hoodie have cat. Yoongi in mind, how much cute you look, Jimin. And now Jimin is trying to place his clothes on the bag. Yoongi, place on the bed. After that, you sit in the almirah, he said, and Jimin nodded. He ran for fresh up. Yoongi see the half clothes is on the bed and the other half is on the bed. Yoongi sighed and he started to place on the bed, fold and place the bag on his side. Jimin come out. आगे क्या लिखा हुआ है? He see and shocked. Jimin, who did this? Young princess. Jimin become more shocked. Jimin, really? Yoongi, huh? I do this. Jimin, you. It's okay, Yoongi. I can do by myself, he said, and Yoongi nodded. He folded his hand and stand on the side. Jimin trying his best to place the clothes in the almirah as he never do the work. So he make a pouch. Yoongi, so can I help you? No, if you want, he said, and Jimin stand on the side. Yoongi, it's alright, he said, and he started to place his thing on the side. And finally, after almost 1 hour, they done. Yoongi done, he said, and Jimin become happy. Jimin, yes, he start jumping in happiness, and they come out, and Jimin come in the kitchen. Mrs. Min see them and smile. Mrs. Min, you wake up, see the time, she said in tone. She just want to Jimin, and Jimin become. He hides behind Yoongi, and he holds his. Yoongi see him. Yoongi, mom. Mrs. Min, oh Jimin, come. I am just you. She said, and Jimin come in front of her. Mrs. Min, it's alright. You wake up whenever you want. Yoongi, can you make breakfast for us? Mrs. Min, no, I don't. You make. She said, and go. Yoongi, okay, then I come. Jim, I'm sorry, he said, and Yoongi looked at him. Yoongi, wait. Jimin, I wake up late. Because of me, you are making breakfast. Yoongi. Yoongi listened, and he said, Jimin asked her. Went to him. Jimin, no, you no need to. Can you Hmm? मुझे बेबी वॉइस ओवर भी करना है. Did you said this? You do whatever you want. I am always here. And about breakfast, I promise you want to eat my handmade breakfast. Jimin, really? Thank you so much, Yoongi, he said, and Yoongi nodded. Jimin sat on the chair, and Yoongi started to make the breakfast. He don't usually eat pancakes, but as Jimin eat a lot, so he make pancakes, and he is shocked to see his cooking skills. Jimin Hyung, you are chef, he said, and Yoongi nodded, and then he placed in front of him. Jimin take and he looked at him with his big eyes. Jimin Hyung, this is so tasty. You taste, he said, and he made the place in front of him. This kid don't know what he is doing. Yoongi ate the pancakes, and he nodded. Jimin, this is tasty, right? Yoongi, yes. Hyung, Jimin, can I get one more, Hyung? You are. Yoongi, you eat as much you want, he said, and Jimin started to eat the pancakes. Yoongi see the chocolates on the. Yoongi see him. He is busy to eating, and Yoongi clean the chocolate. Jimin look at him, and Yoongi look into another side. Jimin, Yoongi, don't you do the breakfast? Yoongi, no. I drink the coffee in the morning. You eat, he said, and Jimin nodded. He do the breakfast and Yoongi washed the dishes. Jimin went to him. Jimin, you are doing work alone. I said auntie should teach me work. Yoongi, why? You no need to do all this. You focus on your studies from Monday. You join your school, okay? Jimin nodded and Yoongi do his work. Yoongi turned and he see Jimin stand in front of him. Yoongi wants something. Jimin, water, Yoongi, okay? यार मानो यार 10 मिनट रह गया. Some days pass. देखिए मैंने तो शोल्डर ना दर्द करना. Some days pass. आस्ता वो. Some days pass. Yoongi and Jimin. Yoongi and Jimin is really to each other. Now mostly this happen. Yoongi come home and he start to use his phone. Yoongi don't search him anything. He do whatever he want. As Yoongi is a professor in university, and Jimin promised him he take a good marks and study in Yoongi University. Now almost 2 weeks pass and tomorrow is Sunday. Yoongi just come home and now as today is the meeting, so he come late. Jimin is now talking with him and Jimin is already think what he gave him. But now he's finding a good movie on the laptop. Yoongi come out, he see him and sit on the bed. Yoongi, Jimin, talk with me please. I have meeting. Pizza or popcorn for me. We watch movie. Tomorrow is Sunday. Yoongi, pizza is not good. Jimin, don't talk with me. He said and turned his face. He know Yoongi listen him, so he's finding movie. Don't even 2 minutes pass and Yoongi agree. Yoongi, okay, as you said. He said and Jimin become excited. He turned and he see him. He smile, which make Yoongi sign in real life. Yoongi order pizza for him and Jimin final the movie. Jimin, you know Hyun, I always want to watch the movie, but no one watch with me. We watch Yoongi, okay, as you said, but if you become Jimin, no, I will not. He said, and Yoongi nodded. Yoongi, okay, as you said. Yoongi off the lights and they start the movie on the laptop. The movie just starts and Jimin is feeling. He went to Yoongi. Yoongi see him and he smile and then Jimin holds Yoongi, what happened? Jimin, nothing. Just you don't become. That's why. Yoongi, oh, thanks, Jimin. But I am okay. Jimin, no, it's alright. He said, and they are watching the movie. And then their pizza come. Yoongi, your pizza come. Wait, I will be back in some minutes. Jimin, no, where are you going? Yoongi, to bring your pizza. Jimin, I come with you. Yoongi, no, it's okay. I go, you sit. He said and go. Jimin stand in the door. Yoongi come and he hardly sit on the bed, but Yoongi say, Yoongi, here is your pizza. Yoongi sit on the and Jimin sits beside him. Eat his pizza now watching the movie. This is the middle of the movie and Jimin is like, okay, 5 minutes only. 5 minutes means एक दो, हाँ तीन चार, चार टैक्स। Anything, such anything. Hmm. Hmm. Such anything. And now again the Jimin Hyun of the movie. He said hide his face. Yoongi of the movie. Yoongi, what happened? Huh? You don't feel? He said. Jimin makeup out. Jimin, I am so no Yoongi. I am with you. It's okay. He said in Jimin. See him, Jimin. Don't leave me. Young, I will not, she said, and Jimin closed his eyes. He don't know when he fell in sleep. Young see him, and he lay on the bed. Jimin had his Young, I want the like this, he said, and finally, the first time he on his forehead, and he also fell in sleep. Next day, Yoongi wake up. He see Jimin and he sit on the bed. Today Sunday. Hmm. So the text is short. The next one is third last text. Finally, this is finished now. Okay, so it's showing. Okay, the 15 पे खत्म होगा कि नहीं? बंदा 16 पे. And this is the third last. He go for fresh up. He go for fresh up. Time skip. He come. Time skip. He come out and hear the voice. He see Jimin sit on the bed and Yoongi, Jiminy, what happened? Jimin see him. Jimin, you are young. You search me. You stay with me. You go. If the come, you know I was still. You do this with me. Don't talk with me. He now got to know Jimin is still. If he's that much, then why he watched the movie, huh? Yoongi, hey, okay, I'm sorry. No, please don't. Jimin didn't look at him. Jimin, go from here. Yoongi, okay, as you said, he said, and Jimin stand up. Jimin again, he stand up. Jimin again stand. Yoongi, okay, okay, just kidding. He said and sit on the bed. He take him, strike to calm him, and he is successful. Jimin, mini Yoongi, he said, and then didn't waste time. He ran for fresh up. Okay, so the next is Jimin. Yoongi just done from his job. He sit on the couch and he closes his eyes for some time, and then someone plays hand on his eyes. He smile. He know who is the person. Yoongi, Jimin, huh? You again got to know it's me. How can you do this, Yoongi? Yoongi, this is so easy for me, Jiminy. So don't try this, he said, and Jimin sighed. He said on Jimin, sometimes I think, how can someone me that much? He said and make a pouch. Yoongi on his pouch, Yoongi. I also don't know. Jimin, how you don't know? Huh? You just don't know. I don't got to know. Also, so don't ask me this question again, okay? Just remember, I use so much, Jimin. I true, Mr. Professor. Yoongi, haha, really? I like the name. He said, and Jimin. He said, and Jimin make a pouch, and so I don't do the voiceover on this text, as you all know, so you all can read by yourself. Okay, ये 36 पे ख़त्म होना था, पर मैंने इसको 1 मिनट में छोड़ दिया. मैंने कहा यार छोड़, इसका क्या लंबा करना है. तो मेरा 2:16 पे वॉइस ओवर ख़त्म हो रहा है. हद है. Okay, so it's almost finished now. Only 30 seconds, 33 seconds are left. 33 भी नहीं रह गई यार, बस 20 seconds रह गए. ये जब 1 2 3 4 5 pictures and now only 3 pictures. ऐसे वॉइस ओवर जल्दी पास होता है. And now only 2 pictures. So hope so you all like. If you like, then subscribe and tell me in comments. Take care of yourselves. Bye bye. See you soon.